Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's travel vlog is day 2 of my trip to the Cotswolds. I've linked day 1 and also sectioned out this vlog to the different locations I visited in the description below, so feel free to check it out. Enjoy! So it's day 2 of our trip to Cotswolds and we're about to head to Bourton on the water. Just had some breakfast at the hotel and all ready to set out. See you guys there. We arrived at Bourton on the water pretty early at around 8:30, which meant that the town was empty and there were a lot of free parking spaces. We parked at a paid parking area near the model village and paid around 50p per hour. The parking machines only accept coins, so make sure you have cash on hand. So Bourton on the water is meant to be the Venice of Cotswolds. This is because there's a stream that passes right through the village that gives the town a similar vibe to Venice. And the village also has a lot of nice waterside views and pretty limestone buildings. We took some time to walk around the village before it got too crowded and really just enjoyed the stillness of the town whilst we could. Because a lot of the attractions only opened from 9 AM onwards, Ian and I decided to take a quick hike up to the lower and upper slaughters through the town. So we're heading to lower and upper slaughters now. We weren't entirely sure where we were headed, but we saw a path leading towards the slaughters called the Warden's Way. We just followed the route markers and kept our fingers crossed that it was going to take us in the right direction. The start of the trail takes you past some stables, so if you're lucky you'll be able to see some horses. We walked at quite a leisurely pace and it took us around 30 minutes to reach the lower slaughters. We walked around the town a bit, enjoyed the views and scenery, took a few videos and photographs, and then headed towards the old mill. We then started our hike up to the upper slaughters. The trail was surrounded by greenery and we also had to walk through large green fields. The last bit of the hike took us through a field full of sheep. We had to concentrate really hard not to step in any sheep poo, and we were careful not to disturb them and just made sure to keep to the path we saw ahead of us. So what was it like trudging through sheep poo? No answer. We reached the upper slaughters and walked around the village for a bit. There were fewer attractions here, but it was still nice to have visited. In hindsight though, I probably would have driven to the slaughters instead of taking the trail. It was quite fun walking to the town, but not as great walking back. The first thing we did when we got back to Bourton on the water was to visit the model village. The model village is basically a miniature-sized version of the actual village and it was pretty cute. We paid $4.50 for entry and there was a one-way system imposed in the village because of COVID. I think it would be more fun to walk around the village first and then go into the model village, as you'll be able to recognize the buildings. They even had a model village of the model village inside as well. Talk about Inception. Towards the end, there's an elevated platform for where you can see the entire village and also take some pictures. We wanted to check out the Dragonfly Maze next, but the queue to enter was more than an hour. Since we had some time to kill, we decided to enter the Motoring Museum instead. The entry cost $6.50 and there was 2 sections, the first holding miniature vehicles and then the second part of it held old vintage car models. For lunch, we decided to go to the Daylesford organic farm. At the entrance of the shop, you're required to sanitize your hands. The shop was quite chic and was filled with fresh fruit and also preserves that you can take home. We decided to get some takeout and eat in the garden. The Asian beef salad I had was quite a disappointment, but the chicken sandwich and the pizza was good. We had to get a pizza as well because the mains that we ordered just wasn't filling enough, and we opted for a plain mozzarella, pesto and tomato pizza. Our next stop was Hidcote Manor garden. Because of coronavirus, you have to book your tickets in advance online and tickets cost £8. I think the COVID crisis hit them pretty hard and they mentioned this at the entrance. Because of this, the gardens weren't in their best condition. There were quite a few paths that were roped off and I suspect this is because of the enforcement of the one-way system. Honestly though, I still found the overall experience great. We went for the 3:30 slot and didn't find the gardens to be very busy. We were able to stroll through the gardens at a leisurely pace and really just enjoy walking around, appreciating the pretty flowers and the scenery where possible. I always find it nice to take a break from the city life just surround myself with nature. What's nice about Hidcote Manor was that there were also different things like water features and nicely laid out paths and corridors, and it was not just greenery the whole way. The toilets are open and the cafe is as well, but only for takeaway. There are quite a few people sitting around the fields at the end of the garden too, so this might be a great place for you to sit down and relax. You can also purchase plants close to the exit of the garden. They had a range of different ones you could choose from too, and I think it's seasonal, so the plants they sell just depends on what's available. We just left Hidcote Manor and it was really nice. For dinner, Ian and I headed back to Cheltenham and we went to a tapas bar called Bar Bourton. They were on the Eat Out to Help Out scheme thankfully, so dinner was pretty cheap and also really delicious.